Hello, fellow Weebs, and welcome to the very first episode of Weeb Podcast. Actually, this channel is an Indonesian channel that speaks mainly in Bahasa Indonesia. But since this channel is also a web channel that talks mainly about Japanese pop culture, such as anime, manga, and video games, and things like that, and I think Japanese pop culture has gained massive popularity all over the world. So I do want to get in touch with you guys, whips all around the world outside of Indonesia as well. So that's why I'm making this kind of videos that speaks in English. So I hope that this will reach more people all around the world outside of Indonesia as well. So we can share our thoughts about Japanese pop culture. I mean, whip stuff, yeah, whip stuff. So yeah, because just like anime, our greatest power lies in the power of Nakama, the bonds of Nakama. Yeah, nothing beats the power of Nakama. The power of Nakama is the greatest power of all. Yeah, and to be a Nakama, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with your other Nakama so we can be Nakama together. Ikuzo Nakama Tachiyo. As this is the very first episode of this podcast, so what is the better title to talk about if it's not my favorite anime? And I'm not saying this anime is like the best anime ever or things like you should watch this anime. I'm just saying that I like this anime a lot. I love this anime. That's what I'm talking about. I like this anime. This is my favorite anime. Okay, so there's nothing about like this is the best anime or what or I'm not being judgmental here, and I'm not saying this so you can rate this anime. I'm not saying this like an anime recommendation or things like that. I'm just want to talk about my favorite anime, and that anime is Gundam SEED. Yeah, as you can see on my background there. I have the main Gundam here. And what do I like about this anime? Actually, there are several things that I like about this anime from the Gundam design. They are very cool. The music, then the nostalgia, and most of all, the Lacus client, my first waifu ever. And yes, from all those criteria, I did not even bother to mention the story because the story is there's nothing to talk about in the story. It's pretty much a Gundam rip off, the very first Gundam rip off, the original Gundam rip off, the Gundam that was airing on 1979, the RX-78. Yeah, I'm talking about that Gundam. So if you have watched Gundam and Gundam SEED, I think you know what I'm talking about. You will see a lot of resemblance in the story. I mean, just look at the design of the Gundam and Strike Gundam. They resemble each other very much. The design, I know that the Gundam protagonists actually have that uh, similar color tone for every Gundam, but these two, the RX-78 and also Strike Gundam, they are pretty much the same, but Strike Gundam just a bit more edgy. It's like the evolution of the RX-78. It's evolved to Strike Gundam, and they even have like next form of the Gundam. So Gundam RX-78 has New Gundam and High New Gundam, meanwhile Strike Gundam has Freedom and Strike Freedom Gundam. So yeah, I see a lot of similarities in these two franchises, and I think that Sunrise actually wanted to make it as a remake for the original Gundam to be reintroduced to people who grew up in early 2000s. And yeah, it's because the Gundam franchise by the year of 2000, it's already a very big and very complex franchise and very old. It's 79. It first airing on 1979, hence the name of RX-78 because I think they have started the production since 1978. So they give the name RX-78 for the Gundam. And so by the year of 2000, the franchise is already 20 years old, right? Yeah, it's already 20 years old. And it's pretty hard to follow, I would say. I don't think people who grew up in early 2000 can watch Gundam, the original Gundam, easily. So I think Sunrise wanted to make the original Gundam. They wanted to remake it to be introduced with a better style that can be consumed easily for the people who grew up in early 2000s, such as myself, actually. And if that was the case, they got me, at least. I enjoyed Gundam SEED pretty much, which was airing on the local TV early in the morning. Yes, I remember watching it before going to school. So it was so early in the morning that I can watch it before going to school. And yes, I woke up early in the morning, not because of school, but because of watching Gundam SEED. Yeah, anime first, school later. With life. So yeah, what makes me really fond of Gundam SEED is actually the nostalgia feeling because it took a great part in my childhood. Yeah, as I can remember, like the best present I received from my parents back then when I was a kid, it was the Gunpla of Strike and Freedom, which I also broke when I was a kid. I'm so regretting it. Why? And just when I was a bit older, I realized how valuable those Gunplas, both in price and also personal value. So because of those regrets, when I was a bit older, I saved up some money to buy this. Uh, this. Can you see this? Yeah. The so yeah, the clothes come to life. No, actually, yeah, I bought this like around when I was in university. So yeah, it was pretty expensive for a university students, I guess. Yeah, for me at least, for me it was pretty expensive and valuable. And also this battleship, yeah, and also this battleship of Lacus clan. You can see her face here. Yeah, my very first waifu is there. Yeah, the Eternal. So actually, this is more expensive than the Strike Freedom than the Gundam one because this was when I was looking for this is a very uh it's a very rare item that because I was looking for that in 2012 to 2013, but it was released in 2002, so it was pretty hard to find and was very expensive again for a university students like me. But there's no regrets when I bought them. It's like my regrets when I was a kid was paid off. It's like a redemption for my regrets in my childhood. So yeah, that's how much the series took my childhood. It took a big part of my childhood that when I broke those Gunplas and I grew up, I feeling like I need to buy a replacement for those Gunplas. So I bought those two. And yeah, those two are my favorite machines for from the anime, the Strike Freedom and the Eternal Battleship. Because I actually shipped them, these two characters, the Lacus Clan and Kira Yamato, the two main protagonists of the anime. And especially for this one, for the Eternal Battleship, I do wish they make a remake for this one because I'm a fan of Lacus after all. Since I was a kid, and as I said before, she was my very first waifu. Yeah, I still remember asking my older brother about this very weird questions like why are Japanese girls are so pretty? A- and yeah, I've never seen any actual Japanese women when I was a kid, when I was in elementary. So I asked that question just because I saw Lacus Klein on TV, a fictional character. And the irony is, later in life, I realized she's not even Japanese in the story. So yeah, she was my very first waifu ever, and I think that's why I have a thing for a pink-haired waifu nowadays. But aside from the appearance, she was depicted as a gentle and strong-willed woman, Ojo-sama, if I may say, because she is actually an Ojo-sama and also an idol. A great combination there. And talking about her idol side, I started liking her songs 10 years after the original airing because 10 years later they made the HD remaster version of Gundam Seed. And when I watched that remake or remaster, just then I realized about the actual plot and the things happening in the anime. Because when I was a kid, I wasn't thinking about those things. I was just thinking about the cool design of the Gundam and also of course Lacus Clan. That's all I remember. There's a Lacus Clan. There's this very beautiful girl in this very beautiful Japanese girl in this anime. Uh, and she's pretty and she's kind and she get along with the main protagonist. I remember that much. Yeah, that's pretty much I remember when I was a kid. But when I grew up and I rewatched the anime and I get to know about more things about the anime, like the songs, and then um the story a bit more. I come to like her as an idol as well, to like Lacus as an idol as well. And there's this VTuber named Aski from Hololive now, I guess. Now she's in Hololive. She had this karaoke live stream of Gundam Seed song. Yeah, so she was live streaming karaoke of Gundam Seed song list, and I like it pretty much. I like that VTuber quite much, quite a lot now because she's a Gundam Seed fans as well. I feel a bit related to Gundam Seed fans because there wasn't much of Gundam Seed fans out there. Even if you ask like a Gundam fans, like a lot of Gundam fans, I think that there are a lot more of Gundam fans that more into the fans of the Universal Century, like the older Gundam series, and also maybe like the Iron Blooded Orphan series. Um, or maybe Gundam Wings. There are a lot of people like say Gundam Wings is very good. I think it's because they haven't rewatched it and they just remember it as a nostalgia feeling, just like me to Gundam Seed actually. But yeah, it's kind of hard to find like a Gundam Seed fans fellow. So when I found ASCII, I was pretty moved. I feel like yeah, very related to her. I can feel her passion on Gundam Seed. So yeah, I like her now. And she also sang Lacus Klein's songs. That's why I like it more. That's why I like it more. So yeah, I see her as the Lacus Klein of the VTuber, but I still prefer the actual Lacus Klein. Now that I think about it, at this point, the only thing I like about the anime is Lacus. Okay, that's it. The first episode of Weeb Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment what is your favorite anime in the comments below. And I'm Wibudes, the Whip Dude. See you in the next video, fellow Whips.